Hello, welcome. My name is San. This is a reading today for Cancer. There are no dates on my readings. I trust that when they find you, if they resonate, then they're yours at that time. Cancer, I'm doing your reading with a blend of decks. You'll see a mix of several decks in your spread today. So we've got the Nine of Wands on the split. Was in one of the recent readings. I want to say the last one, which would have been Gemini, talking about having to do the hard thing. Not that it's going to turn out in opposition to you, just that it's going to be a difficult move, but then no rain today. Okay, no rain today in the Lovers. The Lovers I'm not going to take, but no rain today I will take, because it's talking about being the master of your own creation, but perhaps not being hyper aware of that at the moment. The bottom of the deck is Cuddle and Cradle and My Dear Friend. Okay, tell a new story. My dear friend, tell a new story. Okay, so this is all really fascinating. So there's something going on, Cancer, that may be less than ideal. Very much of the theme of the collective so far, since I've started back to making videos again, has been that everybody seems to be having to stand up for themselves in a way that they haven't had to in the past. I mean, we've all had to stand up for ourselves, but there seems to be something bigger going on right now where people are really standing up for themselves. There's things like whose rights are, it's like human right violations, perhaps. I'll just leave it there. Okay, so then the bottom of the deck was Cuddle and Cradle, which here where I am, it is fall and it is turning chilly and we're all cuddling and snuggling right now. And then My Dear Friend, which is my soulmate card. This is a soulmate. This is interesting. If this is a soulmate that's been around you for a long time, I want to say that there's something new about the connection that is kind of bringing goosebumps, because I'm seeing those antlers and her hair being up, and it's got that kind of thrill bumps or goosebumps feeling to it. And then Tell a New Story, which I love. It's got the birds in the book, which are so potent and meaningful. So the three of these cards together are talking about, this is the guidance or the reassurance coming to you through the cards. It's saying whatever's going on for you, Cancer, with the no rain today and the Nine of Wands, just know that you have somebody who wants to listen and they want to hear something new from you, because the new story is where it's at. The new story is where it's at. It's kind of like leave behind the old story. Don't worry about what has been. Start imagining what will be. Okay, what will be. Start imagining what will be. I feel like that's the title of the reading. I never get the titles at the beginning like this. I always listen to the recording after I record it and find the title that way. We'll see. We'll see what happens, because I'm still going to do that. Okay, overall energy from the Lifruma Healing Oracle for Cancer. I want to give a shout out to my lovely friend Mariana. I feel like I haven't seen you forever. I feel so disconnected from you that I'm talking to you through a video, and I miss you so much. So Mariana, this one is for you and for all the other Cancers listening. We need to connect. We need to have a phone call. I want to hear your voice. Okay, overall energy for Cancer. Okay. Weirdness. The All Rune. Okay. It's making me blink my eyes a lot. Because it's unexpected. There's something really unexpected about this. Because it's weird, I guess. It's like high strangeness. When I first saw it, I saw the rune that was talking about the strength of the foundation, that the tower is the anti-tower. If you've been listening to my readings this week, the tower has been coming through with a new story, a new energy where it's indestructible. It's almost as if we could take the tower card or the tower energy or the message of the tower, which, in case any of you don't know what the tower is, and I'm always just calling it a tower moment, assuming everybody knows what that means. A tower is when something in your life completely goes on upside down, in a sense, and it's like having to rebuild, something being completely deconstructed and having to rebuild it. It's like starting over from scratch. The tower comes down, the tower crashes down. I'm sorry, I may be taking more drinks than usual. I'm kind of fighting a cold, and I'm trying not to start coughing in the middle of your reading. Okay, so Cancer, it's talking about the anti-tower, which is also talking about quantum energy, which I won't get into that here now because, well, it kind of is here because you do have the beast, but we'll get to it when we get to it. I want to stay focused. But the weirdness card, the all runes, is got this kind of all around feeling of high strangeness. So synchronicities off the charts. It's got that kind of hall of mirrors energy to it where it feels like everywhere you go is reflecting back to you your own thoughts, to the point where it gets eerie, which to me just means that you're so on point, you're so in alignment that the universe is just mirroring back pure you energy. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I've got this new bowl with a wipe in it to keep my fingers moist so that I can pick up the cards. It's been so dry with the furnace on. So this is a tip for maybe other tarot readers, because I don't want to put the wipe right on my table because it'll make the cards wet or the wood wet. So now it's kind of like, I think they used to have this on office desks for stamps. And anyway, potentially a life hack for other readers. Okay, let's get into your reading, Cancer. We're starting the reading with the Ace of Swords. This Ace of Swords I've never really liked very much. Just the imagery of it is kind of bland and old school, historic. I'm not really a history buff. I'm more of a futuristic future forecaster rather than caring much about the past, but that's just me. So when I look at this card, I see somebody who's a bit stodgy. I'm not saying that's you. I'm saying that that's the energy that is at play here today. There's something about a truth that needs to be spoken. That has been coming through all of the readings too. It's like everybody's needing to stand up for themselves, having to claim their truth, not just know your truth, but declare it out loud to other people. But there's something studious about it. Perhaps you're doing it at school, or maybe you're a professor. Maybe it has like to do with teachers and students, but it does have to do with this is important, even if it feels like imposter syndrome. I'm getting imposter syndrome now suddenly because that face is looking like a mask. It's not a mask though. That's the genuine face of this character, but there's something about the imagery that makes it look like a mask all of a sudden. But the mind is complex and profound. So this is talking about you, Cancer. You may be required in a situation to step up and speak a truth or your truth, and it's making you feel like you have that imposter syndrome, but it's not true. I mean, you have the truth. You have the truth. It is your truth. You're right. Don't be afraid. And belongs to everyone coming up next. Belongs to everyone. It belongs to everyone. Is kind of, it's almost like you're holding on to something, or you know something. It's that King of Swords with the bird over the eye. You know something original. You know something original, Cancer, and it's like you're not sharing it, and it's saying it belongs to everybody. It's the reason why you're being encouraged to speak. With the learn from the bees coming next, and that's where the quantum energy comes in. So it belongs to everyone, and learn from the bees is talking about that quantum, not entanglement. That's just that's not just, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to get focused here. My mind's a little bit scattered. It's at the wrong time of day for me to be recording, so I'm a little bit out of my element. The sun is going down instead of coming up, which is fine because it's still sunny. I don't like to work at night. At least the window is open and I can see the trees right now. So that is a blessing, is what is coming out. But what I wanted to say was something more like that is desired. Okay, so learn from the bees is talking about that quantum energy. It's kind of, actually today it's coming out for you as being service to, it's that hive mentality, that service to the community, but it does have a quantum element, but not so much as the Aries and Taurus and Gemini reading did. So that seems to be stepping into the background now. It's almost as if that quantum energy is a given at this point. We don't need to talk about it anymore. But interesting though, because the secrets card is coming up next. It's like Cancer's got a secret, which is not surprising because Cancers can be very private. Cancers are very private people. So you have a secret with this Ace of Swords, but the secret that you're holding is an important truth that needs to be shared. So you may be having this feeling like, but it's my truth. It's my truth. But with the Hierophant coming up next, it's like, but you're meant to be this teacher energy. You're the owl. Oh my goodness, Cancer, you're the owl. I've never read that card this way. I always read the card as we're kind of this figure here being taught by the Hierophant. Sometimes you go to the Hierophant to seek counsel, but you're coming through today as the Hierophant, as the owl energy, as the wise one, reading from the book. I mean, you did have this Tell a New Story. So the story, the truth that you hold, it might not be new to you, Cancer, but I feel like it's new to the rest of us. And it needs to be told. It's like, I want to know what your secret is. If there's any cancers watching this reading that know what I'm talking about and you want to share your secret with me, please email me. Or put it in the comments if you want to share it with everyone. Okay, and the clearing. Okay, the clearing is coming up next. It wants to be by itself. The clearing is talking about clearing the air, getting it off your chest. But there's also something about the story that you have or this truth that you're holding can clear the air or clear the energy, clear the room maybe. But there's something about it. It's not the same thing as healing. It's kind of like cleansing. Healing and cleansing are nuanced but different. Because it wants to emphasize something about the fact that healing can come after a wounding. Clearing can just come after a time of accumulation. So there's no wounding or necessarily something unjust or needing to be rectified. It's just that there's just too much. So the clearing is wanting to happen through your speech or your declaration or your command of the space, of the situation. Cancer can command the situation and clear out the past, which is what I was getting here in the first card about the history. I don't like history. Maybe you don't either, and you just want to get on with it. Or you don't care about everybody else's history or story, which can seem very selfish. But maybe it's not if the story that you have to tell is the one that's going to benefit everybody, especially with that Hierophant. If your story is like the right story or the truest story or the ultimate story, the story that is to the highest good of all involved, please tell your story. We want to hear it. Okay, and then the Two of Cups coming up next. It can start small. So this is where it ties into the other readings, because there's been this Two of Cups energy. That color in the card is almost identical to my shirt, and now it makes it look like there's a hole in the card. I just like the visual play of the cards with everything, right? So maybe that means something to some of you. I don't know, but the Two of Cups has been coming up in all of the readings. There's this dear friend or soulmate or confidant that has been playing in all of the readings so far this cycle, where it seems like, I mean, if you're having a hard time communicating your message or even knowing that it's right to do so, perhaps you can just tell one other person. And you don't have to be the one necessarily to stand up like at the podium and declare what it is that you need to declare or share what it is that you need to share. Whatever the situation is, you can give that assignment to somebody else. You can delegate that job. This is what the Two of Cups is coming through for with you, which is really interesting. It's almost like, it felt to me almost like the first three readings of the cycle were very emotional in a sense. And Cancer's is coming through as very studious and intellectual this time. Maybe because we're starting with that Ace of Swords, that kind of set the tone for that. But Cancer is coming through as almost unemotional, clinical even. The Thank You card is coming up next. And I feel like this is the collective wanting to thank Cancer for having to step out of their element. With the Salty Sweet card coming up in a moment, I feel like it's addressing that. It's addressing that. There's something it's difficult for you. That's why maybe I was getting the imposter syndrome. I feel like Cancer is obviously innately very emotional, would prefer to have emotional communication rather than clinical type intellectual. Not that you're not intellectual. It's just that there's always an undercurrent of the emotion, and this feels almost as if you have to be void of your emotion, and that's hard for you with the Ten of Wands coming up next. But there's all this energy around it, which I want to say is gratitude for your ability to do that, or your willingness to do that. Or perhaps there's There's energies here that are willing to help you. But there's this real kind of imposter syndrome coming through here, because this salty and sweet card doesn't look real somehow. It's like a doll or a claymation figure. The hair, there's something about the hair. See, in this card, that looks like a natural girl to me, a very authentic and natural girl. But that's somebody saying thank you to Cancer for doing what you're doing or saying what you're saying. But then this is Cancer. There's something kind of stuck about it. It feels kind of freeze framed and unnatural. That water coming down on that figure it's like she wants to move out of that water stream, but she can't because she's stuck. It's so fascinating. So I don't know what that's about, Cancer, but it feels like if you're feeling stuck or you're feeling, there's stuck for many reasons. It could be that you have to speak this truth in order to get unstuck, but that doesn't really feel like it. It feels almost like you have no choice. You're in a situation where you have no choice and it's uncomfortable. So in that way, you're stuck. It's like there's no choice. You have to move forward with this. And moving forward means having to share what you know. But you don't have to share it directly. That's the interesting thing. Everyone else felt like they had to say it for themselves, but this almost feels like you can have a delegate. You can delegate this to somebody else. It doesn't really matter how it happens as long as the message gets out or the story is told. With the Seven of Cups coming next, that kind of is confirming that for me. It's like it can happen in any way that you desire, really. You get to just point your wand and decide. There's something magical happening in this. Okay, Cancer, there's something like this. Give the hard work to somebody else because it doesn't matter. It's almost like just write it down. Pass your manuscript to somebody else, send an email to somebody else, just get the message out or get the ball rolling, and then you can get back to what it is that you desire. With the elixir of life, that's where all the emotion comes back in. This is Cancer being Cancer, okay? This feels natural and normal to me. I feel like I've been struggling with the energy all the way up through this reading, especially when we got here, because it almost feels like she's been paint rolled with gesso or something, which makes her really stiff. It's like her hair is full of glue and gesso, which would only make sense to artists, if you know what I'm talking about. It's like to get that in your hair would just be, your hair would get rigid. But that's what that looks like in that card. It's like the hair is rigid and it's not meant to be. It's supposed to be like this kind of soft and free flowing, full of warmth and blush and light and love. That's Cancer, the elixir of life. So it's basically saying, do whatever this assignment is, task is, requirement is, in the easiest way possible for you, because it feels like you've got somebody willing to do it for you if you just pass it along. And then you can get back to being yourself. Because it's like there's something about that is going to lift that burden off your back and get back to nature. Get back to gardening. Get back to what it is that you love. I want to put all these cards together here now, because this is you and your friend. There's the rigid, uncomfortable Cancer and the salty and sweet, and the friend that is saying thank you, or basically something like, you're such a good friend, or you know me, I would never let you down. We are in this together. That is going to allow you to get back to your normal, pure nature and the magic, which is interesting because of the weirdness, the high strangeness. I want it to be magic and fun and whimsy, but it came out, the overall energy was weirdness. So it's like Cancer is just feeling out of their element. And because of the discomfort of that, because Cancer is uber sensitive energy, an uber sensitive being, you can't sit in discomfort for very long. Everything in you wants to move back into what is comfortable and for you. And the star, okay, and the star in the Sleeping Beauty's dream. There's something about this which is really beautiful. The star, which is you coming back into your own rightfulness, your own, what do I want to say? Like knowing who you already know who you are, but you're not this, you're this. You see how different it is? That's Cancer. Magical, beautiful, whimsical, storyteller. Not this stodgy professor type. Okay? It's like if you're a teacher, you're the teacher that everybody says changed their lives, not the one that they all want to drop the class over. You see what I mean? It's like you're the teacher that has a long waiting list to get into your class because you are interesting and whimsical and intuitive and empathic, and people feel like you see them. But there's something with this Sleeping Beauty's dream that is talking about getting back to the creativity that is you, that is going to put you back in the position that you want to be in with the Queen of Wands. This, I know this is a fiery energy instead of a watery one, but it's talking about, well, it's got all the moths. It's that bee energy. It's back to your rightful place. Because there is something really off about the first half of this reading. The first row of this reading, even everything that came out at the beginning, especially with the weirdness card and all the runes, it's like all the things are strange right now. Cancer doesn't really know how. It's like I almost feel like I want to hold onto my desk and brace myself because something strange is going on, and Cancer can't quite put their finger on why. High strangeness right now. But there's something about, it could be as easy as passing a message along to your best friend to just take care of it, to do the thing for you, and then you can get back to what it is that you do best so that you can shine in the way that you shine best. Okay, I think we're going to leave it there, Cancer. I am going to continue to pull cards and create an extended. If you're interested in that, the link is in the description. It's to my website, sandtarot.com. But I'm actually considering, guys, tell me what you think. I'm considering trying out Patreon. I've never done Patreon before. I broke up with Vimeo because they wanted to dox creators. They wanted to give out names and addresses to all buyers. And I just think that that's too risky, being kind of a public figure on a public platform. I don't want everyone who buys my extended to have my home address. But I think Patreon doesn't do that. So I may explore Patreon for the extended. So let me know, guys, because I'm not sure if people are liking having to go to my website. Just give me a vote. Maybe I'll do one of those vote things on my channel about, do you prefer going to my website? I can't do YouTube. YouTube I'm trying to get away from just because they've been so cruel to me. But I would consider doing Patreon. If you guys are into Patreon, I will look into that. Okay, so let me know. The extended is on my website, sandtarot.com. And if otherwise, I'll see you later, Cancer. Thanks, bye.